Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Weekly. Guys, I am Mike Spider Slayer, and above me, I have Brant Fowler. Say hello.
What's up, everybody?
And next to have Kat Comic Uno.
Hey, guys, what is up?
And of course, we have the legendary Dark Avengers C86. Say hello.
Hey, everybody.
And of course, guys, this is, like I said, Comic Book Weekly. This is the live stream / podcast where we talk about all the latest, the greatest comic book news. Plus, we talk about this past week's comic books. It's going to be a lot of fun. We try not to disappoint. We'll answer some of your guys' questions. And yeah, we got a good show for you today. So, take it away, Kat, on kicking it off with the news.
We do have a ton to talk about. Unlike last week, where we were just kind of grasping for straws, this week we have a lot of comics, a lot of news. So let's get started. First up, we have the new J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie. I feel like I haven't heard about that in a long time, but Brant likes these movies, so what do you think?
I do like these movies. I may be one of the very, very few, but I've loved every single one of the Star Trek movies, the more recent ones. So I'm excited for this. I didn't think we were going to get another one, at least not for a while. So, I don't know much about it, but I like it. So.
And then also for media news, we have Jupiter Legacy's first trailer, which I actually hadn't had a chance to see, but I do see Brant. He marked it down. I'm so curious if he saw it.
I did actually watch this. I watched it twice, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
Once by myself and once with Lisa. And I'm stoked for this. I didn't remember or I didn't know who was in it. And it's like, I saw Josh Duhamel. I'm like, oh, I know him. And it's like a few other people. And it's like, okay, this is kind of a cool cast. And then the concept was really cool. It was, another, gritty, more mature take on superheroes and superhero families and legacy and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. But I like the way that they brought the visual representation for it. I did not read the comic series, so I'm kind of going into it cold. So I don't know if that, how that affects like everybody else, but I'm excited for the series.
I did read the comic, but I don't remember much about it because it's been such a long time. And the first one especially, and then they had that sequel series, and I don't know. It was a series I enjoyed, but I don't know if I want to invest TV show time for.
Gotcha.
I really kind of remembered it when I watched the trailer. I'm like, I kind of remember this now. I do remember, like I said, I enjoyed the comic book series. So it'll be kind of interesting to see, how they portray it on TV. It's like almost though when you watch it on TV, like when you're seeing that trailer, it's like, oh, this seems like a generic superhero show. You know what I'm saying? But if you read or heard of the comic book before, it's not that. It's a little bit more serious tone of book, of course.
Yeah. It looked well done, though. It didn't look like a B movie or, that kind of thing. It looked like they put a lot of, thought and effort into it. So,
Kat, before this just like popped in my head, did you guys by chance see the Ghostbusters teaser?
I saw tweets about it, but I did not watch it.
Yeah, Lisa made me watch it. So, I did see
Paul
it.
Rudd was in it, and he looked cool.
Yeah, he's in it. And the little marshmallow men are in it too.
Yeah, the little marshmallow men. Yeah,
no, it's hilarious. It's
I gotta watch it.
Paul Rudd's in Walmart and he's like shopping, right? And then obviously there's supernatural stuff going on, and he sees the marshmallow bag like kind of moving around, and he's looking at it, and you hear that classic. I know you don't care, Kat, but you hear that classic Ghostbusters music, right? And then you start seeing the marshmallow men pop out of the bag, and then they go on the grill and they're like making s'mores and rolling around in fire and stuff.
Yeah, but first he pokes it like the Pillsbury Doughboy, and it bites his finger. He's like, "What the heck?" And then they're like everywhere and like roasting each other and all this stuff, and it's crazy. And it's got the kid from Stranger Things in it too. It looked fun.
I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
You'll have to let me know because I won't watch it. I did watch 30 minutes of King Kong versus Godzilla, and we skipped all the human parts. So we did not watch much of the movie.
I heard they did it again where it was mostly humans, very little of the monsters themselves.
Like the Godzilla movie.
Yeah. I only got halfway through, but it wasn't that interesting to me. But we were waiting for food to come. We're like, let's watch it, and we didn't finish. So if that's
if that's how the movie was, I don't blame you. Again, great chance, and then just people.
People are saying for me to watch Ghostbusters. No, I don't like the first ones. I don't think I'm gonna like this one.
Watch it for Paul Rudd.
Maybe for Paul Rudd. Maybe if I'm waiting for more food, I'll watch half of Ghostbusters. And that's about it. There was actually like a lot of like movie stuff that came out this week. So if you guys have any questions about it, those are all the media stuff we marked down, but maybe I missed some stuff that we could chat about. But let's get into some comic news. First up is actually something Mike put on my radar. Peter David returns to his X Factor run with X-Men Legends. I feel like that's all Peter David does is return to his previous runs these days.
Hulk. What else did Peter David do?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, and then there was another Spider book he wrote.
Well, it was like a continuation of all of the same universe.
I thought Brant would appreciate this one too, just because this is legit. Like if you look at the image on it, this is like legit X Factor. Like it's got Havoc and it's got Polaris on there, and it's got all those guys from like truly 90s X-Men style of stuff. This is awesome.
I'm
like,
looking forward
when I saw
to
this, I was like, this makes me want to really continue like this X-Men Legends story. Yeah. And again, it's different writers and stuff like that, but I think this could be really a lot of fun.
I believe it was Peter David's run where he had that like really memorable Quicksilver thing where he talked about how slow everyone else is around him. It was like really, really deep and really like it's the first time it had been presented that way. Like, everybody else is moving at a snail's pace around me and it's maddening kind of thing. So we've seen it since, but I think that was the first.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this. Wasn't so much of a fan of the Adam X thing, but I think this one could actually be better than that.
Cool.
We also have a question. Did anyone see the Army of Darkness trailer? I saw it was out, and I'm a big Tig Notaro fan, but other than that, that's all I know about it.
I saw it was out too. I didn't check it out either.
Yeah. I might watch it. I don't know.
I'm surprised Chris didn't watch it.
Is it Army of Darkness we're talking about Ash, or are we talking?
Yes.
It's like a movie. I think it's
because he said Army of the Dead.
Yeah, Army of the. I don't know if it's related to that franchise. I'm guessing it is, but it's
I'll have to look.
It's a Zack Snyder film.
So you have to watch the trailer and find out if it is.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to let us know. All right, next up is the X-Men new titles. We have 3 coming up almost every month here. We have an X-Men title, so they're already relaunching. There's a classified title by Aaliyah Williams, who did the Mary Jane book, and then a question mark Jonathan Hickman book for September, which hopefully is the Stupid Mora book, because that's all I really need. So, that's all I really want. And then X-Men, that's interesting that Jerry Dugan's taken over that book. I was actually really surprised by that. A lot of X-Men books, man.
Yeah. I'm glad we'll lose the graphs at least in the main title.
I know we're definitely still getting the graphs because all the other titles.
He's still over the whole X.
Oh, he's over the whole.
He's still doing that.
I just don't agree with like X-Men starting over. There's no reason to start it over.
Right.
Just start it. Just continue it with the writer, with the new writer and our new creative team, and take it from there. Why do you got to start it over? That makes no sense.
Money.
And then Hickman to be off of the main title is a pretty big deal also,
Yeah, especially because I don't feel like he's done, you know what I mean? With that particular title, it doesn't feel like we're at a conclusion for what he started. And obviously he's continuing on in the larger X-Men, corner of the universe. But yeah, it's weird. The only reason is issue 1 sell. And so
yeah, but
especially X-Men issue 1s.
Yeah, X-Men issue 1 for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just losing its appeal, I think, at this point with all these reboot or not. It's not reboot, but it's just it doesn't make sense. And I don't know if I agree. I don't know if Jerry Dugan has the knack to write the main X-Men title. I don't know. I mean, honestly, Cable has its moments, right?
He's doing good with character work.
Didn't he write Champions?
Huh?
No,
Didn't he write Champions?
So.
No.
That was
what am I thinking of?
Jim Zub.
Jim Zub.
But before that, who was writing? I don't know.
Who remembers?
I don't know who wrote it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I like Jerry Dugan. I do think we'll talk about Marauders this week. Obviously, I do think that's slowed down a bit, and he's definitely balancing a lot on what's going to happen to that title if he's working fully on X-Men. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very neutral on it, honestly. I'm just like, let's see what happens.
I was trying to think.
What do you think the middle title could even be?
Again, every character has a book at this point, so it's not even that exciting.
Is that the one?
Like a solo series.
Is that the one Hickman's writing?
No, there's another one after. So they're classified. There's two classified. So there's one in the middle that Leah Williams is writing, and then the Hickman one in September.
Okay.
We don't even know Hickman's artist at this point.
Yeah. I was trying to
have Pepe Larraz on it.
I was trying to think of team books that Jerry Dugan wrote. He wrote All New Guardians of the Galaxy.
Didn't read that one.
Yeah. And obviously. I don't know. His Deadpool stuff was, hit and miss for me too. So
I didn't like it either.
Yeah, right. So I don't know.
But loved his Dead Eyes. That was a great book that we now know is going on Kickstarter.
And I loved his Nova.
Dead Eyes is good because it's independent work, Yeah,
Nova. He was really good with Nova, though. I really like Nova.
And there's pieces of Marauders that I love. Like there's issues that just rock it and just hit it out of the park. But then there's other issues where we're at with Marauders now, where nothing's happening, and most of the issue Kitty Pryde has thrown up. But yeah, so again, we'll see what happens with this one. I'm not as excited for X-Men as I was, honestly, even when X of Swords was coming out. I feel like I'm less excited about X-Men.
The only thing I can think of is that with the X-Men title, with the gala, it's going to be revealed who the next X-Men team is. And so I have a feeling that he's going to be writing whoever that team is. That's my guess to it.
That's possible.
I can see that.
And Hickman, like you said, Kat, the whole Mora, I know there's a lot of speculation with that.
It's the only thing I'd be really excited for because I'm like, okay, finally.
I know what it is. It's going to be the Quiet Council. That's all. He's just going to write just meetings at the table, the board table, and
we have X Corp.
X Corp, business transactions.
I don't even know if I want to read the first issue of that.
I don't either.
Gotta read the first one.
I don't know. I'm reading enough, and then Way of X is coming out, which I'm actually looking forward to. So we'll see. All right, let's get into some other news here. We got Black Cat's creative team is taking over Moon Knight, so I'm sure Mike and Brant are excited for that.
Yeah, I watched your video this morning, Mike. About that because I was curious why you were doing the topic video on it, and your thoughts were the same as mine. It's like I had kind of dismissed this series until they announced what the Black Cat team was taking it over, and I was like, oh, maybe I should check this out then. And that's got me a little excited now because I really do like that creative team, and I love what they've done with Black Cat. So maybe they can do the same thing with Moon Knight.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it makes sense that they're obviously coming out with a new series because obviously the show's getting ready to come out, next year. So they want people somewhat familiar with the character. So they're hoping that people will buy the comic book. And like I said in my video, Jed MacKay seems to get these types of characters, He just has a niche for, these lesser known characters and kind of bringing them to the forefront a little bit. So and hopefully he can get, me excited to read Moon Knight because every time someone has written Moon Knight, I'm like, nah, I'll read one issue and I'm like, it sucks. I just don't like it, can't get into it, whatever the case may be. So we'll see what happens if it changes my mind also.
All right, let's go into the next thing, which is let's do Flash Thompson joins Extreme Carnage. Anyone excited for Extreme Carnage?
I'm excited for Flash.
Flash is back.
Yeah. Flash is back. I mean, that makes it cool. I mean, what piques my curiosity with this event is, I guess, how does the symbiotes respond to what has happened to them as a species, right? And I think that's what you're going to be getting out of this. Like, we kind of saw it a little bit in Daredevil, how humans react when the host was separated from them and how people were reacting to that and dealing with that situation. Now we kind of get to see how the symbiotes act after being controlled by Null, and now that they're free from his possession, right? Mm-hmm. So if you care about that thing, then this might be a series that you check out. But what adds to it is Flash is back, and I'm excited that Flash is back. I mean, you know, Dan Slott killed him off, and that was probably going back, 3 years ago, maybe a little longer than that at this point. So, I mean, it's cool that he's in there, and who knows, Flash in the future could be the new Venom book.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah, especially with Venom being whatever Venom is now. Who knows?
The King in Black, I guess.
Yeah, the King in Black. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's what's got me, you know, curious like you, Mike. I can't say that I'm excited for the event itself, though. It's just going right in. We talked about this, I think, last week, and just going right into another, you know, symbiote event is it's taxing, you know.
And they're ending Venom too, by the way. So it'll literally only be Carnage.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's get into the DC Comics creative teams, and then we'll go into the main topic of the week. So I'm going to screen share. Cool. And we finally have creative teams for these books. Too bad we'll never know who was going to write Justice League Queer, because it didn't make it, of course. But let's get it. Yeah, you know, that's we all know who's going to win, but we'll get into this
I'm
to
split
pick
between two. I'm split between two still.
All right, let's see. So we have our first round here, which is Superman and Lois Ignition, which is going to be written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, who's done some death metal stuff. And they did a Boom book. I forgot what it was called. I really like Joyride, which I enjoyed. And then Suicide Squad 7 is written by Rex Ogle, who I don't know who that writer is, but we all know Superman's going to win there. And honestly, I might vote for Superman in that regard, because I really don't need another Harley Suicide Squad.
I think I actually voted for Suicide Squad in this because I didn't.
I have the Twitter poll up, so I can tell you guys who's winning.
I don't want Superman to win. I want Suicide Squad to win.
Yeah, I just.
Well, the poll 49.6 for Suicide Squad, 50.4 for Superman.
Wow,
that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Is today the last day to vote?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I think today might be the last day.
Was it?
I think it, or either,
I could
maybe
vote
it's
still. No, I'm voting as we're doing it now. So
well, I know, but I mean
Twitter and the Instagram. It goes to with both.
Okay, I don't remember the dates.
Don't forget. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, so far Superman's winning by like a fraction margin.
It's rigged.
We all know it's rigged. We all know it's rigged. And at least the way they team stuff up. Yeah. All right. Next up is Blue Beetle Graduation Day, which is written by Josh Trujillo, who I don't know who that is. And then Jesse Quick Control is written by Stephanie Phillips, who is currently writing Harley Quinn, wrote A Man Among Ye. I actually haven't been able to get into her writing. So I'm a little, but the art looks really cool.
Well, good news for you then, Kat. Blue Beetle's winning 58.6
really?
to Jesse Quick's 41.4, which I'm kind of upset.
Yeah, I'm a bit upset about that.
I'm upset about it and surprised. I voted for Jesse Quick.
I did too.
I would want Jesse Quick. I'm surprised that this is winning.
I'm shocked. Yeah, I definitely would want Jesse Quick. I also really like the art for Jesse Quick. I think it looks cool.
Rigged.
Oh, well. Rigged indeed. All right, next up is...
#rigged.
Hashtag rigged. Hashtag DC Comics. Next up is Lobo and Animal Man, Scorch Earth, written by Heath Corson, who I also don't know who that is. And then Robins is written by Tim Seeley, which I did think that was interesting. I do like Tim Seeley's writing. And I like that Stephanie's there. So one saving grace is that Stephanie's in the book.
So this poll is like literally, I mean, this shouldn't surprise anyone. Animal Man Lobo 32.7, Robin 67.3.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
this is
no
a
surprise
given
there.
that this is going to win all day.
And I mean,
definitely.
I did vote Robins too because I
did too because I didn't want Lobo.
Yeah.
I do like the Animal Man's daughter is there. We haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah,
we'll never see her
true.
again. And there's my girl Steph.
I love
She's
how
all
the
way in the
cover is
background.
colored. They got the art team and everything. They're basically, that book is done.
But like, think about it though. Tim Seeley's on the book, man. Like, this is the biggest writer on out of like. Come on, everything.
It's fixed. The fix is in. Yeah.
It's so it's right though. Like a lot of these writers I hadn't even heard of, and then you have like Tim Seeley.
He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna take this bad boy, no problem.
We have the next one, which is Green Lantern's Underworld on Fire, which is written by Sina Grace, and Zatanna and the King of Nightmares is written by the Saska sisters, who I don't know who that is.
I don't remember who that
this one.
They sound like
Zatanna's winning 60.1 to Green Lantern's 39.9.
Wow.
What?
I actually voted for Green Lanterns because I like Sina Grace, actually.
I'm never getting a Green Lantern good book ever again.
We'll talk about that, right?
Yeah. Look at that artwork right there.
I'm I think I'm starting to believe, Mike, it's rigged.
That's the other thing. I wasn't crazy for the artwork for the Zatanna.
The art's not great. But I like Zatanna. Again, none of it matters. But and that's it. I think that was the last one.
That's all.
That's all that's left.
There you go,
so there
guys.
You go.
Robin's gonna win. We're getting to
probably
because it looks like those have the finalized like colors and artwork and everything. It's gonna come down to Robin versus Superman.
When it comes down to it, Bat Family's more popular than Superman Family, so Robins are gonna win.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to take it. I really do.
And also you have all these cult fan favorites in one book. Like, it's not even just Batman. It's like you have Stephanie Brown, you have Tim, you have Jason, you have like literally all these fandoms in one. Of course it's going to win.
Yeah.
But I am glad that's not just like, oh, here are all these new Robins. It's actually like Robins we all care about. So that's something I'll give them.
Right.
If it wasn't a voting thing, I would actually be excited for this book. But because they did all this, I'm not as happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the main news because someone has already asked about it, and we're getting there. So that is something that was announced today. Skybound is celebrating its 10th anniversary with a series called Skybound X, which is going to have an appearance by Rick Grimes, but don't worry, he's still dead. It's going to be in between like issue 70 something.
Yeah,
and
75.
Issue 75, and then Clementine from the video games is going to be making their first appearance in comics.
Which
and
is
then
cool.
And then there's other Skybound characters like Birthright's probably going to be in there. So they're celebrating the whole entire line, which is kind of crazy. It's been 10 years. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Invincible because that's like the biggest thing right now because of the show.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah,
I'll definitely be picking it up.
I mean, you get a comic appearance of Clementine. I think that's a big deal because that will get some Walking Dead fans excited again. And I think even this is did it say it was like a 5-issue story or something like that? Or
it's definitely a mini series, but I didn't know how many issues.
So it has to do with like
5-issue,
how like Rick Grimes I guess goes into space or something like that.
Oh, that's gonna be cool.
And it's like this where the zombie apocalypse started, like supposedly. So this could
Oh, we're gonna actually get an origin to the zombie apocalypse. That's gonna be
I don't know
crazy.
about that.
No, it said it. It said it on there.
They can say all they want.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think we're actually gonna get it.
It's not canon. It's just a fun story that he's writing though, because I think it has to do with his pitch way back when he told the Image writers that The Walking Dead was going to be in an Alien book. So it's kind of playing off of that.
Yeah, it does say it's non-canon, this story.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's they can do whatever they want with it.
It's like what they did when they had that gigantic crossover with Spawn and everybody else, the big old like worlds collide thing.
It's kind of crazy that Image Comics is leaning so much into crossovers because you had the crossover book, and now Skybound's like, let's just do this crossover miniseries.
Yeah. We're gonna have Assassination, which I'm not familiar with. Excellence and Manifest Destiny will also be in it.
That's pretty cool.
I don't read a lot of those books though.
Manifest Destiny, I read a little bit of that.
I read Excellence, and you mentioned Joshua Williamson who writes Birthright, so that he's part. Donnie Cates is one of the creators. And
Stillwater is probably going to be there because I saw Chip Zdarsky's name.
Yeah, exactly. And James Herron, I that name sounds familiar. I don't remember what he writes.
Just basically has to do with all their Skybound books.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
again, Invincible. I want to see what's going on with him. That's what I care about.
Well, it's cool though, and like you said, Kat, I can't believe it's been 10 years already for Skybound, and man, they've grown so much in 10 years. Wow.
Yeah, someone on Facebook said Manifest Destiny is amazing. From what I've read so far, yes.
Yeah, Mike, you read a bunch of that, right?
Manifest Destiny?
Yeah.
I read a lot of it. Yeah, I read a lot of it, and then it started getting a little bit boring for me towards the end there. I just couldn't get into it anymore. It seemed a little bit repetitive. But when it first came out, I really enjoyed it. I had a blast with it.
Cool.
So that's actually all the news. So we're going to go into the shout out for the week, and then also our iTunes review for the week. So let me pull that up. And also just to plug my Kickstarter one last time, because that's ending on Thursday. So let me screenshot that. Here we go. So the Dancer is live for another 2 days pretty much. And we're so close to 500 backers. I hope we can make it. I think there's definitely a good shot of making it. And this is about a young woman who's a dancer/assassin. When she was little, she witnessed her parents being murdered in front of her, never dealt with that trauma until now. So hopefully you guys could go check that out. So again, there's only 2 days left of that. And then I'm going to go into our iTunes reviews. So if you guys give us 5 stars on iTunes, give us a review. We will read your review on the show, which is exactly what we're doing here now. So the review we are going to read, I have to pull it up, is from Tizzy the Great. And they say, Comic Book Weekly is one of the best comic book podcasts. Great cast. Everybody plays well off of each other, so there's never an awkward moment. Seriously, they are a great listen every Tuesday for my nerdy needs. LOL. I look forward to hearing their opinions on big books coming out and the comic and media news. They show a lot of loved indies and the other comics on other than the big two. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And yeah, just if you guys want to give us 5 stars, like we said, we'll read it on the show. I'm going to put a link in the description below so you guys could go and do that. And thank you, Tizzy, so much for the wonderful review.
Yeah. All right. So our live shout out this week is Anne in Ireland. And Anne in Ireland actually backed at a level to recommend a book that we review. So we're going to try to do that next week. Scarent Hood, issue number 1. We're going to try to talk about that. If it's not next week, it'll be very soon. But definitely want to talk about that. Excited to talk about it for Anne. So thank you, Anne. And I'll just throw out real quick that I also have a Kickstarter launching soon. I'll talk more about it at the end of the show. But Pneumatic Cases issues 1 through 3 up live on Kickstarter this week. Hopefully within the next 2 days. We'll see. And there's a link. Yeah. All right.
Cool. And I think that's it for this segment. So we're going to pass it on to Chris for Under the Radar.
Under the radar books that we feel are worth discussing that might have gone under your radar this week. I'm going to start this week because unfortunately my Under the Radar is a book that went under people's radar, but it's not exactly, it's a book that I'm kind of half chopping because I love the artwork.
You want to recommend it, but
no, I would recommend it. I would recommend it, but to a specific audience.
Yeah.
So Magic the Gathering brought out a new book and everybody recommended it to me. So I checked it out. I love the artwork. I love the references to certain to certain places like Ravnica. I love certain references to the characters. For me, the story is, I would say it's okay. I wouldn't say it's bad. I wouldn't say it's good. I would say it's like okay. It could get better. I love the artwork in the book, though. I really do love the artwork. I think the variants are really nice. I think Magic the Gathering fans, especially if you were fans of the previous miniseries of Magic, will like it. But people who are going to come in who don't know Magic, who aren't fans of Magic or stuff like that, if you're just coming into this like as a comic book miniseries, might not like it. You have to be a fan of the series, I feel, or else you might not really be into it. I don't know who read it here, but for me, I like Magic, so that's why I say the story's okay. I'll stick with it and see how it goes. But if you're not a fan of Magic, you probably won't want to read this book.
So I read this, and I know nothing about Magic. I like fantasy. So
Okay.
I think it has promise. The art is gorgeous,
Yes.
but I felt like the open into the world was a little bit boring.
Mhm.
You're getting like a lot of information about a lot of characters that you're supposed to remember very quickly when the conflict starts, and I couldn't tell you a single one of them at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could have been a better opening.
I read it too, and I was like, it was not new reader friendly at all.
Yeah.
I thought for sure
No.
that it would, it would introduce things a little slower for people that are not familiar with Magic. You're kind of almost assuming that you're just because you are a Magic player that you're going to read this comic book, and I don't think that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I the same thing, man. It went over my head. I was just like, whoa. But yeah, I mean, the artwork was gorgeous, and but unfortunately, I just couldn't get into it either.
Serenity asked what, like, if the main characters are sorcerers. They are
Planeswalkers.
They're guild masters too. They're all leaders of different guilds throughout the world.
And there's an assassination attempt, and now they all have like a common enemy, so they're getting together to figure out a way to basically eradicate that common enemy.
Yeah.
It's nice. Like I said, I'm going to keep reading it. It was like Brand said, it was an info dump at the beginning. And if you have no clue who any of these characters are, or what they represent, or what they mean, or Ravnica, you're just, whoa. It's like overload of information on the first 4 pages alone. But
exactly.
I'll stick with it. I want to see what happens next. And again, I played with the cards a bit, so I know a lot of certain, especially Ravnica. I did collect the Ravnica series. So for me, something I'll check out for sure. So I'm going to move on now to Mike.
All right. So my under the radar this week was actually Tankers issue 1. It's a book done by the whole Bad Idea situation. And the book itself, the quality of the book is absolutely amazing, right? Just the way it's made, the cover, and it's only $3.99, okay? But this book is just a lot of fun, and it's about the world who's running out of oil, right? Running out of fossil fuels, and there's this big company that sits there and goes, okay, well, what do we do for resources? You would think, oh, we're going to use freaking, solar energy or something like that. No, we're going to go back in time and we're going to deflect the comet that came to destroy, the dinosaurs, or hit the earth to destroy the dinosaurs. So the dinosaurs can live another century. So we'll have more fossil fuels in the future. So what happens is they wind up going back in time. They're in these big ass mechs. They're shooting down all the dinosaurs to clear the path. They set up the ray. They deflected the comet. Like, everything goes like according to plan. And then what happens is the guy, when he wants to go reset them back into the earth, it was like the wrong time or the wrong place or something like that. And then there was this, like, the main scientist guy that was in control of everything, like, got eaten by some crazy dinosaur. But you don't know what's going on because that was the cliffhanger. So you don't know where they're at, the exact time that they're at, what has happened because they changed time. It's like the butterfly effect. You change that one moment in time, what's going to happen. Dude, it was such an awesome book. I loved this book. It was great. These like Bad Idea books are awesome. They got the ENIAC book. They got this book. And yeah, so cool, man. Like you can't go wrong. Dinosaurs, right? You always love dinosaurs when you're a kid, and then you got robots that people drive, and then they start destroying each other. So cool, man. Really good, great artwork too. Definitely recommend it. It's just hard to get though, because it was like every comic store got like only so many of those copies, and so now to go on eBay, it's like, you know, some of it goes for like $40, $100 for the other one. But
second printings will be coming out soon. I'm very sure.
If you get a second, check it out.
They're selective of what comic book stores they give it to as well.
Yes.
Like that's their model, which I don't particularly get, but I like that's their things. I don't even know. Are they doing second printings? I have no clue.
They are. The first printings are very rare, and then the second print, I think it's pretty much like everybody can get that second print. It's just the first ones they're making it, you know, like a collectible item. That's what they're trying to do.
That's an interesting route. Okay, I get that then. If the second printing, they make more.
All right, so Kat, what was your under the radar this week?
Mine was America Chavez, and as much as I like the first issue, I like the second issue even more. I thought it was really good. It digs even deeper into her relationship with our foster family and why she left, and it's pretty much that they didn't want her to be a superhero, and she missed the connection of her mom's from the utopia dimension that she's from, but it's also her reconnecting in Earth and the neighborhood that she's from. And in the end of the issue, the villain's actually connected to her utopia world. So I love that it's both these worlds colliding, and we're finally understanding who America is. And I honestly think this is the best story we've ever seen from her. It's so good.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really good.
I didn't read it.
I don't know which issue I like better, but I did really enjoy the family stuff too, and that mystery character that she chased, that, like you said, ended up being from that world, bringing her back into it is okay. That was a nice twist that I wasn't expecting. So now we get to see the utopia. What is it, parallel? Or whatever it's called.
Yeah, whatever it's called, but it moves really well, like surprisingly.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a well written book. I hope it continues to be this way, but this is like true under the radar for me.
So Brant, if this wasn't your under the radar, what was?
It probably would have been if Kat didn't pick it first.
I knew it. That's why I said that.
Stole it.
Yeah. So mine is an Aftershock book called Project Patron #1. And it was an interesting concept. At first, I thought it was just like, oh, it's another generic Superman type character or whatever. But and to start the book off, you had this Superman type character fight like a Doomsday type character, and they both it was the classic Superman versus Doomsday. They both die, and then he comes back to life, and it's like, okay, you know, they're basically telling their version of you know, the death of Superman, whatever. But it turns out the twist is, he actually did die, and he did not come back to life, but the government put together this special team and created this android where several people pilot him for different missions. So everybody thinks he's still alive when he's really just like this robot dude that a bunch of people are controlling. And I thought that was a interesting way to go with it. And it was a pretty solid first issue. The main guy that was piloting him is about to retire, and somebody else is coming in to take his place, but this guy is a mole from another government agency to figure out, you know, what's going on and report back. So
is this a mini or an ongoing?
I don't know that. I don't remember.
Knowing Aftershock, it's probably a mini series.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
but it was a good first issue. So
I might check it out. I might check that out.
This is Steve Orlando who writes it, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was hesitant because I don't love some of his other stuff. Yeah, so it was pretty good though.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That's everybody's under the radar. I'm going to pass it along to Mike now with top books and our top 5.
Oh, yeah, guys. It is time for those top books, top 5, big books, whatever you want to call it. Remember, spoilers.
Yeah.
You've been warned. Hopefully you guys read your books already. There were a lot of books this past week. I personally read, I thought it was 23. It was only 21 that I read this week.
I read 12.
18.
I lost count.
I honestly, a lot of those issue ones I didn't get. And looking at that shopping blog, I think it was a good choice.
BJ asks, what is your favorite good ending in comic books?
Oh, damn.
Oh, I like great cliffhangers. I really do. When you're really into a book and then just like it's just all of a sudden that last page hits you and you're just like, sorry, you're just gonna have to wait till next month. I mean, that's kind of the reason why I really liked comic books to begin with. Also, was those great endings.
Yeah.
So
You definitely want someone to talk about. I think that's always interesting about our shows too. If there's like a lot of cool tidbits in a comic and then like it moves really well, but then in the end you're like, oh man, that was cool.
You just don't want some lackluster, boring ending that doesn't do anything for you. Kind of like this past week's Avengers. We'll talk about
I didn't even bother reading that.
Yeah, no, I haven't bothered.
I did read this one only to find out for how that all played out. But yeah,
that's horrible. Anyway,
well, gee, Mike, I wonder, are you dropping Avengers? You hate it?
Let's talk about one of the main books of this week, the conclusion to King in Black issue 5. Every single one of us read this book. This was overall, the event was a solid event. The ending, I want to say, obviously is a little bit predictable. We all knew what was going to happen. I wasn't sure if Null, though, was going to completely die, but he did. But the fight itself, though, was awesome because it showed you how powerful Eddie became when he got that cosmic power. And just him wielding that weapon between Mjolnir and Silver Surfer's board was amazing. And then it was like his emblem was the main energy part of it. And just, my God, he was just unstoppable. And I love that, And I didn't see the whole Dylan thing, though, coming either, though. I didn't think that he was going to rip out whatever was left of Null inside of Dylan, and then that's it. Dylan's basically a normal kid now from this point going forward. So I didn't see that either. But it was good. It was a good ending. It's solid. And, I guess you can say Venom kind of connects to it in many ways because we saw what happened in Venom as well with Flash coming back. He's rising from the grave. But yeah, it was overall a good conclusion to the event.
I feel like Venom and King in Black 5 kind of like, for me, I read both of this, like one right after the other, but I feel like they both kind of they keyed together perfectly, honestly. I for a while was like, okay, so Flash came back at the end of Venom, and then the other book ended a different way.
We do have a couple of questions about all of that. So we have BJ who asks, what about the King in Black ending? It was just pretty much that he became King in Black. At least that's how I read it.
And to be continued in Venom 200, basically.
Yeah, Eddie became King in Black. And then the other question is, King in Black actually have consequences? Does it, I guess, have consequences and affect anything in the Marvel Universe? See, it's just it doesn't affect the larger Marvel Universe, but it affects Venom a lot. Flash is coming back, and Eddie, everything that happened with Eddie didn't necessarily have to be a big event. No, but I actually kind of liked it that it was. I liked it affected other stuff. Like I like seeing Jane. I like seeing the Fantastic Four.
I wonder if Flash will have his legs back.
That's a good question too. Yeah,
because I noticed Rock got his hand back.
I mean, in many ways, why does it always have to have a ramification? It doesn't always, but it does affect some characters. Like Kat said, Flash is coming back. That's a big deal, especially to a lot of Spider-Man fans. Eddie Brock as a character grew tenfold in this whole Venom run. Don't look at it as just King in Black. Look at it as the entire run, because Donny Cates' run was leading up to this event. So when you look at Eddie Brock from the beginning of his Venom run till now, he's a totally different character at this point.
You also have Serenity that died. Not Serenity. What's his name?
Sentry.
Not Serenity. What's his name?
Sentry
died. And then also, if you look at the King in Black Valkyrie book, you have the new Valkyrie that was introduced. So even those like tie-ins that people don't quite care about, things happen in those too. So it's not because I hate when people say, "Oh, it's a useless event" or whatever. Like there are useless events out there. You know, you think of things like Fear itself or whatever. We're like, what was that event? But like Mike said, it was built up through Venom, so it was a Venom event. If you don't like Venom, you didn't have to read it. And honestly, I didn't read Venom, and I still liked it. I thought it was a very solid book because the creative team was really good and the artwork was really good.
Yeah, just because the entire Marvel universe was involved in the event doesn't mean each single person needs to have ramifications. They were there to, fend off this threat, but that threat, like everybody else said already, had ramifications for specific characters. So,
and at the same time, it kind of did feel like the Marvel universe was kind of unified in this event because it was like again, we said earlier, it's like the X-Men were in it, the Fantastic Four were in it, and they were in it in the main book. And I like that. Like, you don't get to see that all that much, anymore, and
especially with the X-Men.
Yeah, it was really cool. And like Jean Grey had her own focal point in the book as well. Again, I thought it was awesome, man. It really was a solid event.
It also, changed the not so much the history or the whatever, but of the Captain Universe power. Yeah. Now it's known as something different, and they can play off that for future stories.
Mm-hmm. I like how the power left them. Yeah, it's like we're done here. I'm out.
Right, like it always has. So that didn't change. So it's It's just now they know it's something greater or something different than what they assumed it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So good book. I loved it. All right, let's talk about. Wow, we go from that to this. Green Lantern issue 1.
Oh,
I'm glad I did not read it.
Oh God,
I was so mad.
It was like a political nightmare.
It was boring, and it was like, and Hal he was in it, but as a hologram.
He was a hologram.
Away it established. I'm not.
Hal Jordan is not going to be in the book.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in this book either. Like it's all about John from the start.
Yeah, I didn't mind that because I like John and I like that he's the representative, he's the leader, and all that stuff. But I agree with you guys with the political stuff. It was just that's all it was. It was this big summit, of the United Planets. It was basically stuff that they had been building in Legion, just in the past, obviously, or in the present instead of the future.
It was nice to see all the Legion, all the cores.
Yeah, and you got some kind of threat, some kind of antagonist there, but it was all based from Gym World, which was like okay.
Yeah, it's so generic though, man. It's like you're gonna be part of the United Planets now, and they're like, "Yay!" And it's like, "No, I'm gonna shoot you," and then the Guardian
and he's dead.
Who cares?
What was the point? What was the point to having that girl? What was the point of the girl by Bendis created? Why?
Teen Lantern. It was.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? It was. They were trying to decide if they took the gauntlet from her or let her be a Green Lantern. That I get that. That's fine. I didn't have a problem with that. Her. Yeah. I didn't mind her. It was just the whole issue. They were voting on whether the Green Lantern Corps could be part of the United Planets or not. And it's like, they're going to be part of the United. Yeah. What's the point of that? So it just it was a little weak. It was weaker than I think any of us wanted, but. I don't think I hated it quite as much as you guys, but it wasn't my favorite.
For a first issue, it was very disappointing.
I agree.
The only thing, like we just talked about earlier, that gave it a little bit of hope, and that's why I'm not dropping it, is because something we haven't seen in a while is the different lanterns. The red. They were mentioned, so it leads to believe that these lanterns are going to be in future issues. I'm hoping
we get a Hal Jordan book at some point again.
I mean,
you still got N1. It's the one still going on.
We don't talk about Grant Morrison's book.
So that you're not going to get one until that one ends. So forget about.
Oh, is that still going?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was over. Okay.
Sorry.
Indigestion. Right. So that's Green Lantern. Let's talk about Noctera issue 2. Now,
it's Noctera, Mike.
Man. Huh?
Nothing. Nothing.
What? What? What did you say? I didn't even get what you said.
No, I was giving Mike a hard time because he got a hard time for mispronouncing this title before.
Oh, how did you say?
Yeah, you said it right. You said it right this time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just thought it was funny.
Someone, someone said something in my comments from mispronouncing it, and I know the guy though too. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He comments on my stuff. He supports the channel. So I laughed when he actually said it. He said it's actually pronounced this. And so that stuck in my head. But
that's all I was saying. Yeah.
So, but this book though is really good though. I really enjoy the artwork is absolutely outstanding. I love the race against time for her to save her brother. She's got to make this split decision on to work with that bad guy or go against the other guy, go against him. Just a lot of cool things that goes on in this book. Trying to remember what else happened because it's like one of the first books. What else happened in this issue?
It was you pretty much described it all. It was them trying to, if they trust that old guy and the daughter, I think is the daughter. And then the shadow guy comes and appears. I didn't like this issue as much as issue 1. I really liked issue 1, but this one kind of slowed down for me. I thought it was very Scott Snyder in the way where he kind of over-explained everything, and I just kind of wanted to see stuff happen. And he's just like, "This is the world. Let me explain it to you."
I enjoyed it. I mean, I probably enjoyed the first one more just because it was the whole introduction to everything. It was new and everything, but I like the villain. I thought it's an interesting. I don't know. Manifestation of I don't know if he has powers or what the deal is, why he's all shadowy. There's a bit of an air of mystery around him, so that's cool, and I like that maybe the revelation that the guy didn't really have, it wasn't really from the sanctuary or whatever, came out a little bit too quickly. But I still like the journey so far, and I like how tough the main character, I can't remember her name, but I really love how tough she is.
I don't remember her name either, honestly.
Val, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And, kind of going back as they flash back, how she kind of took care of her brother and all that stuff. And, it was still a solid issue, and I love her character so far, so... And, I kind of want to see where things go from here. Like, she had that split decision to make, and you thought she was going to go one way, and she went the other way. And it's like, okay, that's, she's smart. She knows what she's doing. She's got everybody kind of, hanging on her every word and decision, which is kind of cool. So
yeah, that's a tough decision, though, because the guy, supposedly the evil one, the shadow guy, sits there and says, well, I can fix your brother. And then... Right. The other guy says, I can fix your brother too. Yeah. So it's like, who do you trust? So you're hoping that she makes the right decision. Because again, it's a race against time, and his hand now is starting to change as well. So
yeah.
And also we know the parents died because of the whatever you want to call it. But I don't know if it's a virus or not, but so at least we got the PM ramification. But we still didn't see it. So I really do think there's more story to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So
they're wandering around like one of those creatures somewhere.
Oh yeah, they probably are.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, let's talk about everyone's number 5. So, Kat, what's your number 5?
Mine was King in Black. We already discussed it.
Okay. Already.
Mine as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because it was a really good ending. Honestly, I enjoyed it.
Gotcha. Brant?
Mine was the book we just talked about, Noctera.
Okay. And mine was actually Venom. So we talked about that. So Venom was good. I mean, we talked about it briefly. It was good. There's just a lot of repetition, kind of.
Yeah.
With Venom. So until you get to the end, and then it's just like you're like, oh, that's pretty badass right there.
Yeah. They literally like redid panels from what was it from the last issue of King in Black or last issue of Venom or so I know I've read it before.
Maybe it's because I haven't read Venom in a while. I like Venom more than King in Black, but that's
really okay.
Yeah, they kind of catch you up on King in Black a little bit. Like it leads into those certain events until that moment in time, right?
Yeah, like the whole thing about discovering the Enigma Force, the Captain Universe stuff. That I literally seen those panels like last week.
Yeah, it was like
before,
almost
whatever.
like you're seeing it from like a different point of view.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it was fun. It was a solid issue. It just the repetition brought it down a little bit for me.
All right, so that was our number 5. So let's talk about Batman issue 107. Now, this is literally the very first book that I read last week. So I barely don't remember that much when it comes to this.
There was so much dialogue between Oracle and Batman.
Not much happened.
I don't
the issue.
That's what
I really like the issue.
I did in my top 5.
I remember that I liked part of it, and then I read it late at night also, so that doesn't help me either. Yeah. So just refresh my memory on this.
The gardener appears, right?
Yeah.
He becomes Batman becomes Match.
Yeah.
And that
at the end, that was so cool. At the end, he becomes Match.
So it starts off
like James Gordon.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's supposed to have black hair. I think Match Malone is supposed to have black hair.
So it started off with him being caught by Scarecrow, though, right? And then it flashes.
No, it was a trick. He tricked him, and then the GCPD showed up.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's where it starts, and then it kind of backtracks a little bit, to kind of, so he's all in his head. He's all messed up to begin with.
Scarecrow's not using like gas and stuff like
that.
Right.
He isn't.
Right.
Creeping people out, basically.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's all beginning. It's the beginnings of the Magistrate still. They're kind of setting that whole thing up for Future State. So we got a lot of that with that guy with the glasses. I don't remember his name, but the guy that Scarecrow's talking to or whatever.
Right.
And then you got the whole mayor involved in all that stuff. And
I think by the end of this arc, we're gonna have the mayor going bye-bye.
Yeah, and then Harley shows up and she's like taking out that nobody criminal or whatever.
She looked good. The artist did her good.
Yeah.
I really loved how she looked.
Yeah. And that's when the gardener shows up and like, there's hope. She is back. And so it's like, okay. That's when it was a bit of a confirmation that ties to Poison Ivy. Mm-hmm. It has to. So, I want to know who this gardener is and what the connection is. So that, made me really curious there. But, other than that, it wasn't. You're right, Kat. It wasn't a whole lot that progressed things, but I still enjoyed the read, and I actually liked the backup story. I wasn't even going to read it, but it was fun. I thought it was fun, and I really liked the art.
I skipped the backup story.
Did you really?
I can't tell you about that
too. I didn't like the art.
I love the art in it.
I didn't read that one. But yeah, no, it wasn't like I love Batman and I love what James Tynion's been doing with Batman. So when I say, it's a weaker issue, it's just compared to the other ones that have been really, really good.
This was a Barbara Gordon heavy book.
Yeah.
I'll say I read Joker already. And if you're looking for a Barbara Gordon heavy book, there's so much that happens in Joker issue 2, which I'm more excited to talk about that.
Tomorrow, right? Or today?
Yeah. Well, today, tomorrow. That's going to be really fun to talk about next week.
We had a question and saying, was this Donny Cates' last issue? Donny Cates' last issue when it comes to Venom is issue 200 or 35.
35, yeah.
Which was delayed until June. So you're going to be waiting a long time for it, but that is his final issue. And probably, honestly, like the true conclusion probably to King in Black. Like it's kind of like the little bit of a, the aftermath of what has happened with Eddie. All right. So is that it about Batman?
Yeah.
I guess so.
All right. Let's talk about the forgettable Marauders issue 19.
I didn't read it.
If the Gala wasn't coming out, I would say I'd probably drop this book right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, no. Kitty Pryde is in the book, and she threw up, and that was fine.
It's hard because this might have been the worst issue I've read of Marauders.
I'm so glad I'm not reading
what Kitty did in this issue. What she did is she went off the boat, she swam a little, and she's like, "Ooh, smelly."
And she puked everywhere.
Yeah, puked everywhere. Yeah.
Was it good? No.
No.
In the book? Yeah.
That's all you care about.
Was this my least favorite book of the week? Yeah. But
not quite actually for me, but yeah.
Kitty's hair was on point.
That's a first for a while.
Yeah. This artist does a good job with her look. But no, this was not a good issue. I can't drop this book ever.
It's
I don't
like
care. Kitty literally threw up in this book, and I want more.
I don't know how you do a Madripoor and Kitty story and it not be good, but that's what this was. I was like, what? I don't know. It just I don't like the Reavers for start. You know, I can't stand the Reavers.
Bad. Like there's the Reavers, and then there's just this version of the Reavers,
right?
And they were just horrible.
Yeah, and you know, every time they've tried to bring them back recently in any form, they haven't been good. So it's just they're throwaway. Hey, we need a villain this issue. Let's throw the Reavers in. That's basically what this was. So I didn't enjoy this issue.
And there was interesting tidbits too, because like she went back there because of Lockheed, and I thought that was interesting, but they didn't do anything with it. And even like Iceman and the rest of the crew just kind of stand there this issue.
And then that whole joke about we can't call ourselves Fire and Ice because that's lame. So we're the Two. It's like, what? The Two is much better.
This is the guy that's going to be writing your X-Men book.
That's a good point. But there have been really good issues of Marauders, like we talked about before. Yeah.
But then it goes from like way up there to just completely down the tubes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
one issue to the next.
This is not coming from just I love Emma and Kitty, but when they're not together, I feel like the book's not as good. I feel like the book is always really good when they're interacting with each other. But like for some reason, Emma's gone.
I remember the chemistry at the beginning.
I feel like the book's not as good.
Yeah, it's like there's something missing. You're right.
But when you go and read Marauders right now, what's the point of the book?
Yeah.
Kitty.
Right?
I mean, why? It's like they've forgotten why she's on the boat to begin with. It's like,
why
what do you
exist?
I do agree with you. I don't know what they do anymore. They were pirates.
Yeah,
that's about it. The book could definitely be stronger. I cannot disagree with that. Yeah, and honestly, Tevi brings up a good point. How about Sebastian Shaw? I think they're waiting for the gala ?
I think this is a stall to get to the gala.
Yeah, I think so too. It sounds like it.
Figure drawing mentioned the 1 out of 25 variant cover. I did get that. That was
that cover was nice. That's the only thing I'm getting the book out for.
Right. That
was like what, a $20 book?
Cover? It's $25, and I was like, it's Kitty.
That's good.
No, I'd pay $25, which I did. And also wasn't like a heavy week for me, so I was like, that doesn't. Yeah, I only got 12 books, and I read like 4 of them digitally.
Usually when it comes to covers, I love the Dynamite cosplay variants when it comes to like Vampirella or what's the other book? Not Witchblade. Oh my God, why am I? Red Sonja. Those cosplayers that they pick for those covers are awesome.
Yeah, sometimes it is worth getting for the cover. But yeah, hopefully Marauders gets a bit stronger. We'll see where the gala takes us.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to number 4. My number 4 is a book we already talked about. And that was Nocterra, sorry.
Now I'm all in your head.
Yeah, right?
I can't get it wrong.
Don't be paranoid. So, Chris, what was yours?
Magic. I love the art. The story was okay. I'm hoping that the next issue will be better.
All right, Kat.
Firepower issue 10. I don't know, we're up to 10. This was a little lower for me just because it's the same cliffhanger we've already gotten, ? It's like, all right, everyone's falling out of the sky again. But I like the build-up. I think the creepy X was very interesting to see her lurking around and just seeing the kids get used to the place where their dad grew up. And artwork was really good, but it definitely was one of the weaker issues. But this book is still a super strong book.
Yeah, talking about not much happening.
Yeah, like I read what Kirkman had to say at the end of the book. And so this was like the calm before the storm. So he said that the next couple issues are going to be
They're
like
double size,
to the wall action. Like I think one said was going to be oversized.
Both of them are. So not the
both of
next
them?
issue and the issue after is double
Yeah.
size.
Wow.
So it's going to be a lot of big stuff happening in the next issues.
Yeah,
Which is fine with me. And it probably reads better in trade that way because you have a little break and then you'll get the big issue.
I mean, it was still a good issue.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was
Still in my top 5.
This book, it's not in mine actually, but it's very close. But it's always good no matter what. But just because not much happened, and like you said, Creepy X just kind of spying on them making out. It's like, okay,
that was a little bit maybe too creepy.
Yeah.
I like the artistic visual of it, but when you think about it in like story perspective, is like, oh, you're a creeper.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So who's left?
Me.
Brant?
All right, Brant.
And it's a book we already talked about, King in Black.
All right. So let's move down the list. Going to the next book. We're going to talk about The Amazing Spider-Man issue 63. I didn't mind this book.
Brant loved it.
It is not in my top 5 this time.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. I just feel like now there's just a lot going on. It's just like a little bit of Kindred, a little bit of the tablet.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
A little bit with the Beetle and that whole
Robbie's
relationship.
son.
Yeah, Robbie's son. So we got that going on. The costume situation is going on. And nothing gets resolved, really.
Nothing too interesting, like even though maybe the Beatles and the Robbie son thing was like, okay, that potentially could be interesting. It was so spread thin. You're like, okay, whatever. Like there's nothing that really hooked me this issue.
I just like that conversation that they had. Like Robbie was talking with like his friends and the Beetle was talking with her friends.
Yeah.
Like they predicted.
It looked like Mary Jane though. Like the art wasn't even that. Like I was like, is that Mary Jane? Who's that redhead?
But I did like the conversation. I thought that was kind of cool. Those character interactions and it actually happened. Like, oh, they told me that you were going to say this and so forth. So that was kind of cool. That's what I liked about the issue.
That was probably my favorite part about the issue too. It was just kind of I don't want to say a placeholder, but it was just like, okay, this is what's going on with these characters, and we'll pick one and do something with them next issue, kind of thing. So it was,
They're
maybe
not. They're doing the chameleon thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or
That's
right. Or is it the Kingpin thing? Who the hell knows?
I don't know.
Whenever
Next
we get the
issue's
chameleon, it's going to be a
Kingpin.
weekly.
Yeah, they're going to do that. I think it was like maybe the annual is the Kingpin, and then then they're going to kick off the whole chameleon situation.
Right.
I don't care about any of it.
But I mean, it was a fine issue. I enjoyed it. It just
It's not as bad as it's been, but it's also not good.
It's not as good as the past 2 issues for me either. But you guys didn't like those, so
Again, Spider-Man. There's just nothing feels like it's at stake anymore when it comes to Peter. There's nothing big happening. There's nothing.
He's out of character most of the time. He's out of character most of the time.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't ever sound like he's speaking.
Well, I mean, I already said that when he got that costume, like right away in this one, he's like, "Oh, I gotta get back to my fans," He's like, "I gotta take my pictures and stuff like that." I'm like, that kind of pissed me off again. I'm like,
I did like the way that he justified it to himself, though. Like this isn't much different than taking the pictures. It's like he's trying to convince himself. So I appreciated that.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with it. I mean, this is just. I don't think we're going to get very much out of this run. I think you're going to keep continuing seeing the same thing. You're going to get to the Kindred situation, and then that's that. And I think Kindred would have been a much better sell, or maybe worth it if it wasn't Harry.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree. And now he's still there, and he's still, something else is going to happen with him. And it's just like, okay, now we're in a waiting period for another 50 issues.
Yeah, and I think it's
too
worse because he's just stuck in that stupid cube.
Yeah.
Everyone gets to talk to him. Everyone loves to talk. Everyone gets to talk to him. Now.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
And Kingpin's spying on Norman. So what? So weird.
There's a lot of spying.
Yeah.
There's so many moving parts that just make
creeper
absolutely
stuff
no
going
sense.
on.
So that's the week. That's just everyone's creeping on each other.
That should have been the title of the show. Everybody's a creeper.
That's so funny. All right, so that's Amazing Spider-Man. Nothing extravagant happened there. So let's talk about. I didn't really like this either, but I'm still sticking with it. Suicide Squad issue 2.
I didn't hate this issue. The thing is, what's so interesting about Suicide Squad is that I feel like there's so many things to make this stand out, but it just doesn't. It just like feels like any other issue. But it's fine. Like I like Peacemaker and Superboy's conversation.
I did like that. That was good. I did, and I also like how Amanda Waller has a way of controlling Superboy also. I feel bad. Poor kid gets knocked out by Peacekeeper. He gets shocked to death by Amanda Waller. Jeez.
Well, you got to stop him somehow.
The art is pretty good for the book. Like I like the punch. I thought that was good. I enjoyed this issue more, but it really depends on that crossover if I'm going to pick up more.
Yeah.
But you can tell that Superboy doesn't fit. He doesn't fit with the Suicide Squad, and that's why 2 team members got left behind.
That's what makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, and at the same time, I don't know if it was just the time that I read this or whatever, but I marked this really low, like lower than Marauders.
Oh,
yeah,
I like Marauder. I mean, I'm sorry, I dislike Marauders more. So
yeah, I mean, thinking about it in retrospect, I probably did too. But for some reason, when I read it, I just did not like this issue at all, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm just done." And then I had to think about it a little bit. It's like, nah, I should give it a little bit longer. But yeah, for all the reasons you guys are talking about, though, it's just I don't know, just nothing's grabbing me in it.
I guess I liked it more than you guys, but that's because I haven't read Connor in so long.
Yeah, and that's fine.
He's not in that leather jacket anymore. He's back in that black T-shirt, at least, where he should have been when we got him back in the first place.
I just felt like there was really nothing to it. It was just like, oh, I'm going to rescue the Quarter of the Owl guy, and it's just like, then what happens is they get affected by choker toxin, and then those 2 die. And then it was just like, okay, well, that's the end of the issue. And and I was just going to say there was a couple decent moments in there, but the same. It was like issue 1 was the same as issue 2. It was just the same thing, and then they just throw. We need a speedster on our team, so
I guess my thing is like besides Connor, which I love Connor and I'm glad to see him somewhere. Besides that, though, I don't care about anybody.
I agree with you on that. Yeah, there's no emotional thread. Even though they try so hard for there to be an emotional thread, there's definitely nothing there.
Right. And the generic throwing Batman in, of course, Batman's going to come in, and now he's going to be doing detective work and figuring things out with Suicide Squad again for the umpteenth volume of Suicide Squad. My hope is that eventually, I know they say Connor's going to end up leading the Suicide Squad. I hope that deteriorates somehow and he ends up with the Teen Titans again.
I mean, we'll see how the Academy goes.
Yeah.
Haven't liked that either. I actually like Suicide Squad more than Teen Titans Academy, that first issue.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think same thing. I agree with Kat. I think it's going to depend on the actual
event
crossover. See what happens after that. If at least if I'll continue it. So I think I would drop Suicide Squad though, honestly, before I would drop.
Yeah, Teen Titans.
I agree with that. I agree with that only because I think more will happen in Teen Titans Academy. Yes. Like I think the big stuff will happen there, but I actually do think Suicide Squad's better written so far.
I'll probably hold on to both because Connor, so I'll probably hold on to Suicide until he leaves, and then B with the Teen Titans Academy. I feel like there's promise for the future, possibly.
Okay. All right, so let's move on now. Let's talk about our number 3. My number 3. All right, my number 3 was Casual Fling issue 3. Love this book, man. This book is so good. It's like the romance movie, but in comic book form. But this one has a great twist at the end of it. I told you guys that this woman cheated on her husband with this big boss guy. And we find out that that's not really his name. He threatens to make the video live and ruin her actual career. So now she feels desperate. She wound up telling her husband. Her husband left her. She's telling her job and all kinds of things. So now her husband was like, listen, whatever happens, but I'm going to get this son of a bitch. We're going to find this guy. So they do all this crazy private investigation stuff, right? And so they found out that this guy actually did this with like 12 other women, high career profile type of women. And so the main character, her name is Jennifer. She winds up trying to reach out to these people, and they're like hanging up on her and all this stuff. She finds out that she winds up getting this. She gets in contact with one of these women, and she goes, "Oh yeah, when we get together and stuff like that, we'll start getting the other women together." And it was like, "Oh yeah, pretty cool." They're starting to piece together things, trying to figure out the case. Well, that woman is that dude's husband.
Oh wow!
And
damn, twists and turns.
They get off on this thing that they do. They do this as a couple, ruin these other women's life, and they tape them, and then they obviously they have sex while watching.
Sounds like a good job.
I mean, it's crazy, man. It was a crazy twist at the end. I'm like, I could not believe this book. I was just like, wow. And the husband that's trying to solve the case or help his wife solve the case goes to this hacker who's trying to do all the investigation and stuff. And Kat, you would love this character. She is so good.
The whole book sounds super interesting, honestly.
Some of the comments that she says is like, she's like, people consider me a superhero, but I don't wear the tight ass spandex thing, And then she's like, she also says, like, have you guys ever considered trying to do a threesome? Not with me, of course, but, they says that it helps, marriages do better. And she is a trip in this book. So good. It is actually one of my panels I wanted to put in there, but you heard the situation, what happened. Yeah. But this is a great read. I definitely say pick this up. I recommend it. It totally surprised me when I read this.
Is there another...
Which company?
This is AWA.
AWA, yeah.
Is there another issue after that? Or
yeah, there's one more issue.
I don't know. Does AWA do trades? I definitely
don't know.
Trade.
I don't know.
Sounds like a good free comic book day, deal trade to get that.
Right. I mean, it might still be on the rack. I don't even know, but it reads pretty quick. Like, even though there's a lot of dialogue, you love the mystery of it, and you just love the way it reads.
They do.
It's awesome. Really good.
Oh, when's it coming out? Because I definitely get a trade of that. That sounds cool. I don't think the single issues would be available anymore, just because
I did find out that the Superman and Batman trades were available now. Superman 78, I think, and Batman 89.
But those are easy to get.
Yeah, I just saw that they did a Year Zero Volume 1 trade.
That's a bigger book though, so I could see that getting a trade. I guess we'll see, but if I see it on the rack, Mike, I'll definitely get it.
I think I'm gonna see if I pass by Midtown. I'm still thinking about going into the city. I might pass into Midtown and grab
October 19th.
There's 3 issues. October. Okay, that's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
coming out. Maybe I'll wait for the
it's
trade.
far. It's definitely far out, but I'd wait for that.
Yeah,
by my birthday.
Good book. Very interesting. Great dialogue. Very emotional to the way the characters are written. It's definitely great.
You have to let us know how it ends.
I might catch up. Sounds good.
All right. So that was my number 3. So Brant, what was yours?
My number 3 was Runaways, issue 35.
I know what Cat's number 1 is.
That's Cat's number 1. That's not.
Of course it is.
Cat gets to talk about it now. She's so happy.
I'll let Brand talk about it first. But
aside from the stuff with Nico and Carolina, there wasn't a whole lot to happen except for the big reveal at the end.
Except everything, but okay.
Which was huge. I agree. It was a really good issue. It just wasn't my number 1. That's all.
I don't understand. I can't compete.
Well, I know you can't, but that's all right. So Nico and Carolina had this deep conversation about her staff, and I thought she was going to come clean to she flirted with Pixie, and she never got around to that. She just kind of told her about the staff, and of course Carolina was feeling much better. She spent all day in the sun, so she's good now. But yeah, there was this whole tense conversation about her trying to take Nico's staff from her to, kind of save her from her soul being taken. But in the midst of all that, Nico slips and says, "I love you." And so there's that whole moment between the two of them where they, exchange that for the first time, which was
Although
really cool.
Carolina never said, "I love you."
That's
back.
true. That's true. She just, yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
She has said it in the past enough that I guess she gets a pass.
Yeah. So, I mean, all the other characters except for Chase, not really much, right? Nothing.
No, disagree.
Maybe I'm forgetting something.
Molly. So
Molly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was a big story. So the beginning is about this mutant who doesn't go to Krakoa because she wants to stick around with her mom. And it's like this parallel story of what Molly's doing. She's sticking around with her family, even though she's a mutant, and that her powers are making her weaker. And if she went to Krakoa, she'd be able to learn how not to do that.
You're right. Yeah.
That was interesting. And then you get the Chase and Gert stuff. Then you get the Carolina and Nico stuff. Everything happens in this issue.
Not everything, but
everything.
So Chase.
I love you.
Yeah, so Chase for the past couple issues, he's been sneaking off, and you find out that he's seen somebody, and you don't know who. So it's like at the last page, it's like he goes to meet her, and it's like, babe, and it's Gert, but it's not the Gert that came back; it's a different Gert. So he's gone somewhere and found another Gert, and he's dating her because the one that he brought up back the first time didn't want to be with him anymore. So it's like, okay, this is interesting.
And I like the design for her. I thought that was just like, I did not see that coming out.
No, not at all.
But I have not given many 5-star reviews for this year. And this was a 5-star book for me. I literally thought.
Okay, I didn't think it was that good, but okay.
I love this issue. I thought so much happened in it. Like, I love the idea.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good issue because you also have the question of like, who am I? Like, even with Carolina, like, even though she had like a little less, like, she's in the sky saying like, I'm an orphan to my own planet. Like, even like though everyone else is an orphan, she has nowhere to go to make herself feel better. And it was just such a good issue. And even with the Nico stuff, I liked with the staff that the reason she wants the staff, well, in her mind, is because she has power and like, who am I without my power? But it's also like, how about if you die? How about if Gert dies? Like, I thought there's so many good character beats here. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's pick of the week. It's number 1.
We said that last week. We knew it was happening.
If it's Runaways, it's gonna be number 1. Come on.
It's just so good. I love it. The artwork's so good. Carolina was in this issue. If she's in an issue, it's gonna be number 1. And she was even in the last issue. And
even if the book was crappy, she would be in the issue and it would be number 1.
I will say there's been other times where the art has changed and it was not in my top 5, so I'll say that. But hopefully the art doesn't change.
Out of how many?
It was years ago.
Yeah, it was years ago.
It really was, because there's only been like twice that I was like, oh, that wasn't a great issue. But every other issue is just so good. So good. The best book out there. I am so upset with Brant's number 3. Should have been at least number 2.
So then what is your number 3?
My number 3 is a book I guess no one read, but Silver Coin issue 1.
Oh, I did read it.
Oh, you did read it?
I knew I forgot a book.
I loved it, but I felt like I had some solid books that I really enjoyed. And when I look at Silver Coin, I'm like, it's a good book. I liked it, but at the same time, I'm looking at it. It's an anthology book. It's written by different people, but this first issue was pretty solid. I mean, I enjoyed it. I like wanted more, a little bit more from the story. It like ended too abruptly for me.
It was a 4-star book for me, so it wasn't like Runaways, but I thought it was really solid because of the art was so unique. And so with the issues about this band from like the 1970s who doesn't have any fans, and they find this coin in the lead singer, the lead guitarist's mom's like suitcase, and he plays with this coin and he literally lights on fire and loses his friends, loses his life. But also I was curious, like, okay, that's probably why the mom left. Like, I'm curious if we're going to see her story. And then the next chapter is slashers. And I absolutely love slashers. And Kelly Thompson. So I'm very excited to read the next issue. I liked it. I thought it was a really solid read. And I just like the idea of an artist doing every issue of an anthology with these all-star writers.
I do like how it's, it's kind of like something you would see out of a TV show. Like one book, you're going to see, you go from the coin going from holder to holder. And I think that's what's unique about it, you know? So I did like it. I just thought it was like the dude's, you know, career ended very, like I said, abruptly. It's like all of a sudden he's playing so fast, he like catches on fire. The whole place catches on fire. And I'm just like, oh dang, that's it already. He's like, he's done, you know. And
then the curse of the coin. I like that. I like that was kind of abrupt. I enjoyed that. And also because the artwork was so good to portray it.
Right. I thought the artwork was really good too, but I was just getting into it. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh man, it's over. And that's sometimes how I hate about comics too. It's like you're into a good story and then that particular part of the story just ends, you know? And so hopefully though, it continues to be good with Kelly Thompson's writing in the next issue.
I think it will be. And the dialogue work was really good for this one too. Yeah, it's 5 issues. I think it's worth it. If you are a fan of horror, if you don't like horror, don't pick it up because it's very much
in my top 5. You know, like I said, I think it was, I'm trying to think, like, I think it was like number 7. I think it was.
It's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, like all these books in my top 5 and like Firepower's not in there. ENIAC's not in there. You know, Silver Coin is not in there. And I loved all those books. You know, there's a lot of books at the end I didn't like, but there was a lot of really solid books.
That's what happens when you have a big haul.
Yeah. 21 books, man, is a lot. All right. So, Chris?
Suicide Squad. We already talked about it.
Suicide Squad. All right. So, let's move forward. We did talk about Venom already.
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about 7 Secrets. So, 7 Secrets is a little bit on a break, and it returns. And this issue was just a little bit off for me. I didn't expect this type of story coming out of once this case was revealed where Caspar would go. And his origin is kind of weird. Like he was raised by these weird creatures. And hopefully now after this issue, it kind of gets back on track, but it's completely different from what we've been getting from this. So that's why it kind of threw me for a loop here. And that's the reason why this book didn't get in my top 5 as well. So we're talking about 7 Secrets.
Yeah, I thought this was the weakest issue of the bunch so far because we had the 3 months hiatus. We didn't have a hiatus. I wouldn't mind this issue because it's like, okay, you're like taking like a palate cleanser. But because we had the break and this issue, I'm like, I just want to get back into what I enjoyed about the last arc.
Yeah, I agree with that too. The only thing I'll say is I got a kind of an anime feel from this kind of, you know, side segue into the suitcase or whatever. So that was, I understood what they were going for, but obviously there's some history there that we don't know yet about him. So that's cool. But yeah, I agree. It was a weaker issue, and you know, being all excited, like you said, Kat, for it to come back, and then you get that, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and then you get the secret revealed from the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of just like, you've been waiting all those issues, right. And they open it up and you get teleported to a different dimension or whatnot. And okay, that's fine. But then to go to that, I was like, really?
It's very anime. I would agree with Brant. It was very like, all right, here's a filler anime episode. But the artwork was gorgeous. I thought the art was very good and imaginative.
It does make me wonder, like they said, all these secrets, if they're unlocking, they could destroy the world or whatever. How does that destroy the world?
Yeah.
Like, what are the ramifications from this secret dimension? So,
I had a feeling
we'll find out.
This issue was being written. I think maybe Tom Taylor was focusing on some Nightwing at the time.
Maybe. He's like, I got to write Nightwing this week.
Yeah. So, all right. So that was 7 Secrets. So we'll just jump on to our number 2. And my number 2 is actually King in Black issue 5. So we talked about that. Chris, what was your number 2?
Ironically, Venom.
Nice. Kat?
Mine was America Chavez issue 2.
And Brant?
Batman. I really liked the issue.
Man, you're all over the place today.
I know,
Brent.
I
You're
know.
like, I like Batman more
It's-
than Runaways.
It's a weird week for me. What can I say?
This was a very weird week for me as well.
I got a second vaccine and was hallucinating. And I still put Runaways as number one.
But you always hallucinate.
That's true.
All right. So, Brant and I are going to talk about Star Wars High Republic issue 4.
Oh man.
It's
Oh,
so
no.
funny to see
Don't
like
say,
how
"Oh man," because
issue
I didn't start
one,
yet,
you're
and if
so
you say, "Oh,
excited."
man," that means it went.
Issue 1 was so good.
Oh no, no,
And
no!
in issue 4, you basically have a flying Jabba the Hutt
Yeah, that's
with
true.
arms,
Oh,
mechanical arms.
It went weird places, is all I can say. From issue 1 to issue 4, it was not the book that I thought it was. And I'm sorry, man, but it's like you think it's one thing. You think it's okay. This is really tying into the dark side of the Force, and there's going to be that's why this guy is kind of betraying them and everything. And you're going to focus on this new Jedi, and then all of a sudden the focus leaves that Jedi almost completely. I can't remember. Akiv is Akiv.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. Everybody's
yeah.
so hard to remember.
So that Keeve is just like this character that's in the background now, and Skier, which was his master, has kind of taken the forefront. But Skier has been like possessed by this plant-like creature, and he's kind of played it off to where he wanted to get infected on purpose so he could understand them. Now he's struggling with this. And then all the Hutts come in, and it's like now they're battling flying Hutts, and it's like, what in the world is this book anymore? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So
and just like that, I am taking the book off of my must-read.
it lost me, honestly.
You lost me with Flying Jabba. That was it. You said that, and I'm like,
it's like a whole band of Hutts. It's like they're
no.
Yeah.
No.
So what'd you think, Mike?
I mean, you explained it.
You said it all.
I read it, and I'm just like, this is just absolutely atrocious. Like, I didn't care about him. Like, I get that maybe he was going to the dark side. I thought that's what it was. And same thing like you, it had to do with the plant thing. So he could possibly grow his arm back, because he's dealing with this trauma. And then it was just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about this guy. Like,
Yeah.
and I wanted to care about the Jedi. That's who I cared about.
That's what I thought High Republic would be about.
And this guy is a Jedi, but he was the master, and she was the Padawan. And at the first issue, she became a Jedi Knight. But the story hasn't been about her. It's been about the Jedi Master. And I don't care about this guy. Like, the guy is not a good character.
Yeah. Radio Vid said it was one Hutt. So if it was one Hutt, I apologize. I thought it was multiple, but
I think there were like a
doesn't
Hutt
matter.
gang
A
or
flying
something.
Hutt.
yeah, it was a Hutt. It was a Hutt gang. Yeah, it was some kind of gang. Maybe they weren't all Hutts though. Maybe they were other creatures. But either way, it was this weird gang that was attacking them now, and I don't know. I thought the concept was all about that Jedi, and his master was being, turned by the dark side, and that was kind of, at the beginning where there wasn't a whole lot of that, and I thought that was going to be an interesting story to tell, and that's not what we got here at all. So
Doesn't sound like it at all.
So now that you're going to the whole Hutt situation, it's like, do I really want to invest in any more issues of this? Right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's that one. And we talked about Firepower already as well. So I guess we'll just go to our number one. And my number one was a book that we did already talk about. Well, at least I talked about. And that was Tankers. That was issue 1. So love the book. Very original concept. Kind of laughed about it. But man, when you pay $3.99 for a book and you get a quality book like that, like it's like a DC Black Label book. That's It's like premium format. I mean, I can't complain about that, man. And being that the story was good too. So definitely my number one. And Brant, what was your number one?
America Chavez, which we talked about.
Nice.
I kind of forgive you on that one. That was a good issue.
It
kind
was a good
of.
issue.
The Batman thing, I really don't get.
I just really enjoyed Batman.
Well,
I'm sorry.
You're gonna hate my number one then.
Batman's.
Batman.
Guess
Kat,
I'm on
we
another
know,
planet.
obviously, we knew from like 2 years ago that your number one
did.
today would be Runaway.
Runaways. Carolina, Nico, I love you. I love them and they love each other.
All right. So, with our top 5 all done and over with, we go to the part of the show where we actually chop things.
Chopping block time. And I know Mike has a large list this week. So we're going to save Mike for last. Me this week gets a half chop for Magic the Gathering, but I'm hopeful, like Brant, that things will get better. Brant, what about you?
I've got 4 half chops this week.
4 half chops.
4 half chops. Yeah, it's, one of the books we just talked about, Star Wars High Republic, that's a half chop. It may be a full chop. I haven't decided yet. We got Magic the Gathering also. I'm at a half chop of that. I'm going to give it one more issue, see if it can grab me. Suicide Squad, I kind of mentioned that too. I'm going to see how this crossover goes and decide from that though. And I think that's it.
Kat?
Nothing, because I only got 12 books because I didn't try any of those issue ones.
All right. So we're going to Mike with his list.
It's probably the biggest list I've ever had.
I know, I saw it.
But
I saw it. I'm like, my God, Mike.
When you read 21 books and, one book you're reading only because of something that was supposedly happening and nothing happened. So that's obviously, now that that's over, now I'm going to drop it. And that's Avengers. So I've been sticking around with the whole Phoenix situation on who's going to be the Phoenix. It was spoiled so long ago on who the new Phoenix was going to be. So it's kind of like, if you didn't spoil it, maybe at least you would get that surprise. But no, it was spoiled. But the whole event was just the same issue you're reading over and over again.
To that point, just to interject real quick, I didn't read the past 2 issues. I read this issue and I was like, I swear I read this before. It was exactly the same, like the same conversations. Do you think you should have it? Yeah, I think I should have. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like, the Phoenix Force is leaving me. Where's it going? Namor's like, I should have the Phoenix Force. I deserve it the most.
Oh, man.
And it's just like, it's so dumb. And the whole thing with Thor's mother situation. Mom, don't leave me. It was great to see you while I can, son. Hopefully we will be reunited soon.
That was hilarious.
And Avengers continues to just tank.
So there was that one.
So they were attacking the Phoenix, and Thor was like, "No, that's my mom."
Yes. I know. It's so bad.
I mean, this is great for Joke of the Year when we do our awards.
Oh man,
this is definitely one of the.
Don't kill my mommy.
What has happened to Avengers? Like this is your flagship book, man. I can't believe that Aaron has been on this all this time, right?
Yeah,
he's been on it for a while.
Yeah,
I don't understand this. Yeah, he's a better writer than that, so I don't understand this
Especially
story.
for Thor too. Like he wrote some good Thor books.
Right. That's like mind blowing. I don't get it.
So High Republic, I'm done with that. That's done. Magic, I tried it. I honestly thought that, if I don't, what can I expect from this? I had no expectations. I thought maybe it could get me into it. No. So Green Lantern, just because it's Green Lantern, it gets a half chop. I gotta give it more time. I'm gonna give it time.
You know what, Mike? I agree with you on the half chop for Green Lantern too. So I have 2 this week.
I'm so desperate for a Green Lantern book. I'm hoping it gets better and it gets away from that political nonsense, and maybe the story takes off from there after this Guardian is dead nonsense. And then Suicide Squad, we talked about it earlier, right? It's going to determine on the whole Teen Titans situation. So that's what I got for the chopping block.
And that's it for the chopping block. So I am now turning it over to Bran. Talk about our most anticipated.
Yeah, these are the books we're excited about coming out tomorrow or today in some cases. So we got a pretty hefty list this week. We'll talk about one that only Chris marked. Lock and Key, The Sandman Universe, Hell and Gone, number 1.
Yeah, I want to see this. I didn't know Lock and Key was crossing over with Sandman.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm not into the Sandman universe, so I'm like, I don't know about this one.
But I love Lock and Key. I
do love. Yeah, I get that. Let's jump to another one. Only Chris marked. Birthright number 48.
How about you? Aren't you looking forward to Birthright?
I haven't really enjoyed the past 2 issues. I want, it's the final 3 issues we're at now, so I'm excited about it. But at the same time, it's like I hope it gets better.
Me too. It was so good for so long. I feel like it's like this is the lull that they're just like going to end the series on. It's like you have so much potential because the parents are now locked in the other world.
In Terranos, yeah.
Come on, the last arc ended on a high note.
Yeah. Hopefully these last 3 issues will pick it up, but we'll definitely talk about Daredevil in a minute. Let's see. Let's go to Maestro Warren Pax, number 4.
Yeah, definitely a solid book. I talked to you guys about how Bruce Banner wound up getting killed by the Pantheon in the last issue, and I need to find out how he's going to survive this or actually come back alive again. Peter David, we talked about him writing a lot of, older stuff in today's comics, and he's been doing a good job of it. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Is this the final issue, or you got one more?
Maybe. What is this, 4?
4, yeah.
I think there's probably 5.
Okay. Well, there is another final issue, the Power Pack number 5, wrapping it up. I know. Go ahead. I can't wait. That's going to be your number 1. That's Kat's number 1 next week.
I hope so. I hope they don't hurt Julie again. That was really sad, but then she came back and it was great. I'm also curious who's going to narrate it because I have a feeling it's going to be all of them that's going to narrate it.
Yeah, probably. It'd be funny if it was the parents and they knew all along.
That'd be fun. Wolverine's in this book now. It's just such a fun book, and I don't think a writer has gotten Power Pack this right in a long time. Yeah, and I hate that it's only a miniseries.
I know. I would read this ongoing for sure. So hopefully they'll bring back this creative team to do another volume,
or at least the writer. I don't love the art, but I can look past the art.
Yeah. Okay. I don't mind the art, but I could take a new artist too. All right, we got Spider-Man Spider's Shadow number 1. I'm kind of torn on whether I'm going to get this one.
Really? It's Zdarsky.
I know, but
I'm looking forward to it as well, Chris. And I love that Mary Jane
Magic
cover.
The Gathering and Shadow.
I didn't say I wasn't going to try it. I was just torn on it.
I would at least try the first issue. I'm excited for this one. I want a good Spider-Man book. It's been a while.
Even if it's a what if at this point.
This looks good. I think this could be a dark story, and just seeing what happens to Peter if he actually became Venom. Like, I want to see that story.
I will say that cover. I love that cover, the half and half.
That's coming out for the next issue. The one where she's like behind a door and then it's like creeping. That looks really cool too.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we got Black Cat number 5. I really loved last issue. Didn't that just come out last week?
It definitely just came out.
Yeah. So I don't remember where this issue is taking us now, but that last issue was just like a little interlude.
Yeah, that one was with the Queen Cat.
Yeah. I forget where this one. Yeah.
Now this one has to do with them maybe going back to stealing things and across like New York and everything, kind of where
the Odessa Drake thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And
then I think it's going to lead eventually into that Infinite Destiny events or story or whatnot.
Right. Okay. Cool. And Kat kind of teased the Joker #2 earlier. Big
There's
Barbara Gordon.
multiple things. It's not even just
Okay.
Barbara Gordon. There's like 3 or 4 things that happens in that issue, and
Okay.
it's really
I
interesting.
didn't mark it.
Yeah, I'm excited for
definitely
it.
read it. It's good. I would say. It's
Well, I was
even
going to
better.
read it. I just wasn't anticipating it.
That's like a
It's-
$7 book, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, I don't. It wasn't that long of a read. I didn't think, but
Yeah.
it's
They're making their
good
books
issue.
ridiculous. Their prices, even Action Comics, is like $5 an issue now.
They also have Punchline. That's why I didn't read the Punchline story, and I don't think I will. But no, it was, in my opinion, even better than the first issue.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's their way of like kind of cutting the line of amount of comic books coming out, and they put a story so you still read some of the heroes that you might be interested in, but they put it in a major book and upcharge the price. So that's the way they're doing it. It's kind
That's
of
why I'm not getting Batman Urban Legend, and I really like the Red Hood story, but I
Right.
refuse
It's a
to pay
tricky business
$7.99.
tactic, right? I mean, yeah, we'll put a few more pages in there and charge more money, so it makes you're going to buy it because it's Batman. So
I'm still getting Urban Legends because I really love that Jason Todd story.
I love it. I'll wait for the trade.
I don't think they're gonna trade that.
I'm definitely getting it. I love that first issue so much.
I loved it. I just $8 for one.
which one? The
story.
Urban Legends?
Urban Legends, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting it too. Like I'm really being particular on the DC books that I'm picking up. Like before I would kind of try everything. Being that, and people can argue with me that Marvel is just as expensive, but I enjoy Marvel more. So like I'm willing to pay a little bit more money, but they're not doing double up stories like DC is. So
Yeah.
I'm just not going to pay that extra money, if a story is just okay.
Yeah.
I agree. I think like Justice League is one of those books for me that I think I will drop because they have Justice League Dark in the back, and I'm just like, I'm not reading Justice League Dark.
Remember the
I don't
time
know if
they
care.
had that ad drawing the line at $2.99?
That was a lifetime ago.
I get why they have to spend they have to make these not $2.99.
Yeah.
Like they need to make money.
$3.99 is fine, but I mean $7.99 really?
They want to make money if they're not printing as many books, like Mike said. That's what they're going to do. I do agree with you, Mike. I think there's certain books a lot of the Batman books I'm going to pick up though. I like Batman, and that's
that's what they're counting on too.
That's what they wanted to do. Oh, Batman sells, so we're going to put that few extra pages in Batman. We'll charge the extra $2-3, and
Action sells too. That's why they're doing
But see, I'm not getting action. I did have to read Superman this week, so Chris will have someone to talk about it with. But
Tell me, was it disappointing?
I mean, I don't like Superman.
That's true.
I can't tell you, but nothing really happened in my opinion.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Going back to Batman, we got another #1 with Batman the Detective, which I'm excited for.
I'm interested in it just because it's Tom Taylor.
Right, exactly.
And how much is that one? I think that one's $3.99.
$3.99. It's only one story. It's a miniseries.
There he goes. See, I'll pick that up all day.
That I would pick up if I really like the first issue digitally. Definitely.
I'm actually curious how much it costs. Give me
$3.99.
It is $3.99.
I would say double check my math, but I believe
it's $3.99. 32 pages too, so it's a long book.
Yeah. Nice. I'm sure we will be talking about that one next week for sure.
Oh, yeah.
A book that Mike and I will definitely be talking about, Darkhawk, Heart of the Hawk #1, 50-year and not 50-year anniversary.
50 years. Man,
stop aging us.
He's old.
Stop it.
30. Sorry. 50-year anniversary. Jeez.
Well, they're exploring all the different stuff he did, right? Like Cosmic, and then his early days, and then they're teasing his future. I did an interview for that one.
Said 50.
Huh?
That's why Brand said 50.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I would really like even if Darkhawk didn't get his own series again, why can't you just put him on a team?
Yeah. Do something.
He would fit perfect in Guardians of the Galaxy. Stick him in there.
But I think Kyle Higgins is writing that book for a reason. Like, I think you're probably going to get a book.
I hope so. God, I love Darkhawk. one of my favorite characters from that era. And every time he comes back, it's like, oh, I get excited, and then they snatch him away from me. And so I hope they actually do something with him this time.
We have a very nice comment from B-Man's World. Loving the stream, guys. Always great to hear your insight on comic books. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that comment.
Yeah. All right. I think we only got 2 more books to talk about. We got Thor number 14, which most of us have been enjoying.
Oh, duh! I didn't mark that one. Yes,
conclusion.
I actually caught up with that. Yeah.
So all of us.
Yeah, it's been good. I hope Jane doesn't leave because Jane's been great in the book, and no, it's been cool. This is like the final battle, right? Between
yep, versus
Donald,
Thor and the I forgot what color the suit.
I don't either. I don't remember, but
the thing
he got in a big Thor.
Oh yeah, the destroyer. Yeah. And then go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, it's the conclusion of that story arc, so that will be pretty big deal when it comes to that issue.
Yeah. And then finally we got Daredevil number 29, which we're all reading now. So that's cool. Yeah.
I like her as Daredevil.
She's been great. I've really just been enjoying the book. It's just every issue, even when it's a slow burn, it's still good.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't waited as long. I keep saying that every time we talk about it, but I wish I hadn't waited as long. And I still got to catch up at some point. But yeah, I'm enjoying the
I feel
the
like
ride
it got
right
better
now.
as it went along, though, because I remember I did try binging those beginning issues. I'm like, I still don't like it. And then once you get to the part we're at now, I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, that's true. So there you go. That's our most anticipated for this week.
All right, guys. So we're going to talk about things that are going on in our world of YouTube or comic book creating or Kickstarters and stuff like that. So, Grant, I know you got something getting ready to come out, so you can go ahead and kick it off here.
Yeah, so Pneumatic Cases issue 1 through 3. This is written by my buddy John. I only publishing this one. We actually hired Clay Adams to do the lettering on this one. So, but the book is going to be completely done by the end of the campaign. All the art is done. We're just finishing up coloring and lettering right now. But it'll launch hopefully by Thursday. Just if you want to go follow the notification or the pre-launch page, you can get notified when we launch by clicking the little green button, lastnumberpress.com/PC3, which I will post in the comments there. But it's a steampunk book about a couple, spouses that solve mysteries in their spare time, and so they're traipsing around Europe trying to solve this murder mystery, and they encounter supposedly supernatural being in this issue. So it's going to be interesting, and we got a cool variant cover by Kaylin Smith, who just wrapped up a killer Kickstarter for her book, which the name has completely escaped me.
Good something.
Yeah, good something. That's all I could remember too. But go look up Kaylin Smith.
Might be able to search it.
For
goodness sake.
For goodness sake, yeah. Kaylin Smith also did Plume for Devil's Due, I think it was.
Oh, she also did a Pat Chan book. Forget what it was.
Yeah. So got a variant cover for that, and I keep stopping myself in the middle of typing this URL. So
I already put the not URL link in there. So
cool. Thank you for that. Okay. So that's coming up. Yeah, and we also have a pre-launch page up for a puzzle that we're launching later in the month for our gaming brand.
Post that.
Thank you. And that's torchnightgames.com/wonderland. So you can check it out there. So that's it for me. And also don't forget to check out the audio version of this show, Comic Book Weekly, dropping on Fridays. You can find all the episodes on iTunes. Just search for Comic Book Weekly, or you can go to cbwpodcast.com and go to our Simplecast page, where you can find links to all the other platforms there.
Give us 5-star reviews. It really does help.
All right, Kat.
Yeah, let me just share the dancer one more time. We have 2 days left. I would love to get to 500 backers. We're at 442 right now. Definitely
went up
plausible. 2? Yeah, I went up. I think 2 by this show. So yeah, I'm happy about that, and definitely go check it out. It's about a dancer/assassin. When she was little, she witnessed her parents being murdered in front of her and never dealt with that trauma until now. This book has been done, so you're really going to be getting that right away. I just really need to give it to the printer. So it'll be shipped right away. And then we have our crossover book with Haunting and Like Follow Like Daughter that's launching in about a month or two. So that's really exciting as well. And then my YouTube channel, go check out my Comic Uno Best Comics of the Week tomorrow. I posted a top 10 Kickstarter video today. And then also I'll probably be posting a video about that Joker issue because there's so much to happen that I kind of want to dive into it.
Chris?
Right now, I am wrapping up my first term of college, so a lot of the norm. In about 2 weeks, I am shrinking my schedule a little bit because it was a bit overwhelming. That's when I'll have more to talk about YouTube and internet-wise. But as always, Brooklyn Boys 13, I am posting up my vlogs on there from now on. The Brooklyn Boys Discord is available in the latest 2 live shows I did called Brooklyn Boys A Live. I talk about the Discord there. You can go over to the latest video. I talk about the Discord. I talk about what's going on. And we were able to get BBC 13 Gaming back. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the video subscribers or the description of the channel back. So I have to redo all of that, minus the videos. I'm not uploading about 400 or 500 videos. But we will start new videos on there instead. It's a slow process to get that channel started up again. So if you were subscribed to BBC 13 Gaming, you can go back over. The channel is back up. You can go resubscribe. And that's where Michael, myself, and Kevin will be posting some playthroughs and walkthroughs as time allows, of course.
All right. And then, of course, me, guys, on Comic Book Corner 2.0, you guys can check out my videos that I got going up this past week. Comic book cover of the week, top 10 most anticipated comic books for next week, comic book haul on Wednesday. Make sure you guys check out those videos to figure out a way to win my Road to 10K X-Men giveaway. I got a bunch of stuff donated to the channel that I got sent to me. A couple of things here is this 9.4 graded X-Men issue 167. So that one was donated. So this one is like the first time the New Mutants appeared in a X-Men, Uncanny X-Men comic. And then I recently, this past week, got a Wolverine issue 10, 9.2 CBCS. This is before Wolverine had his, I guess, adamantium claws, and he's fighting against Sabretooth in his own book. So that's a pretty good copy to have too. So again, check out all those videos. Find out how you can win. You can win those, a whole bunch of other X-Men stuff. Really good time, guys. So, and that's it. That's all I have as well. So as always, guys, make sure if you like Comic Book Weekly, subscribe to the Comic Book Weekly channel. Also subscribe to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And if you subscribe, you must hit the bell, because if you hit the bell, you're going to get the notifications for all the stuff that we do on there. And then if you're hitting the bell and you like the notifications and you're subscribing, you got to follow all the social media crap. Forget about the like right now.
The wrong way.
You got to go to the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, and then you can give it a like. Why not? Okay. So hopefully give this video a like. And hopefully, if you're listening to this on the audio, guys, make sure you leave that 5-star review.
Yes.
So until next time, guys, this is us signing off, waving.